co-chair of the project board, a representative of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and our favorite strange diplomat, Mustafa Turan.
Hello to you all. Yes, I have a new name or nickname, whatever it is, strange diplomat. Ozan has just written a Medium post just a couple of days ago, I think 2 days ago, and he talks about his story of coming from Silicon Valley to this project, to join this project. So if you haven't read it, please do so. It's quite inspiring, I found, and it's the first time I'm featuring in an article with this strange diplomat title. So yes, as Ozan says, I'm a diplomat, and I know most of you, but there are some new faces among us who were not here last time. Thank you for coming today. So we are doing this project with a lot of enthusiasm, and the feedback that we received from the people that you have all met last time you were here in Istanbul and in Ankara, the whole teams, the feedback from our institutions, everybody you met, including our Deputy Minister at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they were quite impressed by your project, by your dedication to join this program and make progress in your own projects. Because when you make progress, I think this will lead to a lot of good outcomes in the lives of refugees in Turkey, but also beyond Turkey. So I just wanted to welcome everyone, and in this first part, we will ask our partners to say a few words regarding this program. We are now at the stage of the completion of the pre-accelerator phase, where we had 25 teams initially. Today we will hear from 21 teams, and so we are very excited to listen to you and hear what you have to say. I hope you are all ready, and I'm sure you are. Our team has done a really great job to really get you prepared until this point. But as you all know, we will have a second phase of this program, which is going to be the accelerator phase, which will last until the 13th of September. And we see this not as a competition, but rather a process that will involve all the teams. We were very happy to see that some collaboration emerged in the process between some of the teams in different challenges. So we encourage you to collaborate more if you can, to come up with even better solutions for the challenges that we opened. As you all know, we have two challenges, but there are some teams who are working at the cross-section of these challenges. So we are very much looking forward to listen to you now. I will call now our co-initiator of this project. As you know, UNDP has been a great partner of our accelerator. So we are represented by Pelin Rodoplu. UNDP is represented by Pelin Rodoplu here today, portfolio manager at the UNDP country office in Ankara. Pelin, please.
Thank you, Mustafa Bey. Actually, the strange diplomat makes our days very exciting for the last couple of months. And I'm very excited to be here with all of you. We have been experiencing a very challenging times. And these are the few moments that I am very happy that I am working in the development field. And I am grateful for all our supporters, our funders, but for your enthusiasm, participation, and dedication. I think this will lead to many successful initiatives in the future, not only completing this phase, but it will definitely open a new door for UN in Turkey. And with your enthusiasm, with your dedication and commitment, we are sure it will lead to very exciting times ahead. And thank you very much for all the work. And please remain committed and keep us in the loop for the future endeavors as well. So let's keep this initiative alive, sustainable, and more impactful day by day. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Pelin. Now we have, as you know from the beginning, another partner which is very important, World Food Program, WFP in short. They are obviously a great partner for the whole Accelerator, but specifically the challenge on digital identification. As you know, they had their expert last time, Human Haddad was here. This time we have another expert from the WFP. And I would like to invite Mr. Nils Gerede, World Food Program Country Representative based in Ankara. And he will also introduce Dominic, who is our new expert joining us today. Nils, can I call you here?
Hello everyone, thank you Mustafa. I was wondering what the introduction would be after the strange diplomat, whether there was going to be some payback, but I'm glad there was not. It's very exciting to be here. It's nice to meet all of you. I wanted to introduce Dominic Deboni here in the back, who will be the evaluator on behalf of WFP. Dominic has been working with WFP for a good 10 years. She's at our headquarters. She's a policy and program officer that is focused on capacity strengthening. So we're very excited to have her. Human is very sad he can't be here, but he remembers all of you and he watched all your videos and looked at all your PowerPoints, and we've been closely coordinating amongst ourselves because he will remain involved, and he was very excited to be here last time. So he sends his regards and wishes everybody good luck. A few words about WFP and why we're part of this and why we're in Turkey. Of course, we are not one of those agencies that has been here for 50 years. We have been in Turkey when Turkey needed our help many, many decades ago, but Turkey is, of course, now a very developed country. We were then here again when there was a crisis in Iraq, but only to serve the needs of Iraq, and now we're here for the refugee crisis since 6 years. We managed together with the Turkish Red Crescent currently the largest global cash transfer program for any population, in this case the refugee population. All of our work is under SDG 17, and I don't know to what extent you've all studied your SDGs. It's the SDG, which is probably for many people the most difficult one to understand. It's the partnership SDG, so the one that is supposed to be the glue to hold all the other SDGs together. And what better context could there be than Turkey, that is hosting 4 million refugees, to find solutions for all the enormous challenges that refugees face because of their difficult situation, but also to give them a role in the solution. And I was very happy to see that many of you are actually addressing how refugees can be part of the solution and can contribute to their host country. And I think the best context to do that is Turkey. Turkey has been so generous in welcoming and hosting this population. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know, there's not many countries that have the refugees live amongst the population. Usually in many other countries, refugees would be in camps. Here in Turkey, 97% of the refugees live amongst the host population. So that is amazing, but it also brings a whole other set of challenges around the whole idea of how do you then actually establish a livelihood, how do you ground yourself in that new society, how do you overcome all that challenges to become a productive member of that society for the time that you will be in that country. So that's our motivation to be part of this, and I think all of the work that you are doing and will be doing and have been doing is really exciting, because I think in any single one of your proposals I can see the partnership spirit and how it is about bringing together a lot of different stakeholders to solve a very concrete problem. So I'm very excited to be here. I want to thank Mustafa as well for his infinite energy on this. I said to him earlier, if we want to reach the SDGs by 2030, we need to move at the pace that this accelerator has moved in the last 2 months. So thank you and good luck to all of you, and we'll talk later.
Thank you. Yes, I think for a project like this, we need people like also Niels, who is very active, very quick to respond to our calls for partnership. And we are very grateful that you joined the list of our partners, Niels. And thank you for being here in Istanbul with us, bringing Dominic. So thank you so much. And now I would like to ask Melih Özsöz, Innovation and Creativity Manager at Limak Holding. You remember his speech from last time.
So actually we have a lot of familiar faces on this side of the room. It's like frozen in time, and we have new faces over here. So yes, I just wanted to thank you to all of you for coming here, and really good luck for today. I explained from last time why we are here, like lined up, no leg logo ambitions here, so we are all lined up here, and we are very happy to be partnered with the Gates Foundation, with the Ministry, with the UNDP, with SDGia, and with Mustafa, which is like partnering with Mustafa is something else. And I really would like to thank you to all and wish you good luck for today. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Melih. So I also have the pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Emre Eczacıbaşı. Can I call you Emre? Okay, Emre is here with us. Emre is the coordinator for innovation and entrepreneurship at the Eczacıbaşı Holding. So he's exactly the right person to talk to you today. Welcome, Emre.
Hello everyone, it's nice to meet you, and today I want to talk a little bit about Eczacıbaşı's approach to innovation.
Okay, sir.
Eczacıbaşı's approach to innovation, sustainability, and to entrepreneurship, and why this program is important for us today. At Eczacıbaşı, we believe in a very important fact, which is that today's problems cannot be solved by yesterday's methods. And we also believe that today's problems are coming up frequently in front of us in different contexts. So it's really important, we believe, that we move to a different value system. So we believe that the prosperity value system, which used to dominate, which was about profit, competition, and controlling, is now over. We believe in the importance of collaboration, partnership, purpose, and sharing. And we believe that innovation is the greatest tool that we have in our hands to tackle these age-old problems. We believe that sustainability is not only a challenge, but also an opportunity for companies to practice essential values such as co-creation and integrity. And we believe that investing in innovation, sustainability, and specifically the Sustainable Development Goals is not just a social responsibility project, it's a necessity for today's companies. So in this sense, at Eczacıbaşı, we believe that we're doing our purpose as a corporate entity. And we also invite other corporations to do the same. And we believe that this is a very novel, innovative, and unique way of approaching today's age-old problems in a very original way, this partnership and collaboration method. And I want to thank you for being part of it, and hopefully we will cooperate in similar projects in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Emre. As you know, one of our partners is Gates Foundation. This time they will not be among us, but they have watched all of your videos and they are going to be a part of the evaluation committee. So they also sent their feedback to our acceleration team. and hopefully next time when we have the demo day, we will have them among us as well. So I would like to also thank Emre for mentioning and underlining the fact that SDGs is not really a PR or corporate social responsibility matter. This is exactly the type of mentality, mindset that we adopted from the very beginning to do this project. We really want to see concrete results coming out of your solutions, changing the lives of the people in need for the better. So I just wanted to also mention that hopefully in New York, after we finish this program, when we have the SDG summit in September, some of you will be able to go there in person and present your solutions to the a high-level group of people who will be inspired by your stories and solutions, and hopefully replicate them in other parts of the world. So thank you very much. My job is done. Now I I hand it over to Ozan. Ozan.
Thanks so much. We don't have another tie to bring and cut here, but that's the strange diplomat for. My name is Ozan, for those who haven't met me before. This part of the room has already met me multiple times, and they already regret that decision. I wrote the piece mentioning my journey from Silicon Valley to the real valley, and the strange diplomat was Mustafa, with all the other partners that you've seen. And also, apart from a strange diplomat, we have a high-performing yogi. And a yogi and performance don't go together, because being a yogi means you relax, you're comfortable, you're in the moment. But I cannot possibly have done this at all without the high-performing yogi Beliz, and of course without that. So it was a strange coincidence. I had left the previous investment company I was working for in Silicon Valley, and I found the strange diplomat. Things evolved, and I was very happy that I was able to persuade Beliz to join us in this endeavor. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
She's not only going to help with the whole presentation thing, but she's the one person who's managing a lot of this whole stuff, and we're happy to create this together. So for the founders, thank you for coming. You'll hear amazing pitches, because these founders were grilled pretty well done yesterday. Here's one last final note to the founders. Feet's over here, so you don't turn your back. If you know the lines, you know which order you're going to present. If somebody's presenting, please wait there silently. If your turn is going to be up, don't wait until the founder starts pitching, so move before the guy pitches. We have a 2-minute window. Your timer is here. With the dip of your eye, you can see the screen. You know this, you got this, you practice this, we have confidence in you. Enjoy the moment. There's going to be a lot of pictures suffering you here, and then you'll find those pictures very happy. If you get stuck on something, don't panic. Beliz is here. I'm going to be in eyes distance. If you feel you need help, just let us know. Feel? Now, breathe.
Take a deep breath.
Breathe. Let it go. One more time. Breathe and enjoy it. Here we go. While the startups are going in, the second startups could be lining up here again. When a startups is on stage, you guys have been working with them together. Give them a round of applause. Make them feel they're appreciated. Take it away.
Hi, my name is Johannes, and I'm the co-founder of Gravity. Gravity is a cloud solution that allows everyone to receive, store, and share verifiable data in a digital wallet that only they control. We have created wallets for around 700,000 individuals and 3,000 businesses across Africa since the start of the year. And we are out to solve a problem. As a small business owner in Africa, getting access to an affordable loan is hard. Most completely lack access to finance, and the digital lending apps that exist charge often more than 250% of interest per year. This is a problem that affects around 45 million SMEs in Africa, creating a gap of around $300 billion worth of loans. And it exists because lenders simply don't have enough verifiable information about people's business activities. So they shy away from the risk of lending to them. This is where we come in. Our solution allows small business owners to aggregate credit-relevant data from different sources, for example, from their suppliers. They can then push all this data to lenders of their choice. The lenders, thanks to cryptography, can verify where the data has come from. They can use it to assess their creditworthiness and provide a cheaper product. This solution currently helps 500 street vendors in Nairobi accessing an affordable loan for the first time. The lenders pay a fee, and part of this fee is shared with the initial data contributors to provide an incentive for sharing. And the fee is usually around $1 to $5, depending on the number of data points that are requested. We reach scale through partnering with data contributors. After our pilot, we aim to deploy with 200,000 small businesses in Lagos with a partner in the FMCG space. The digital lending boom in Africa has created a huge demand for credit-relevant data. For SMEs alone, in our 3 focus countries, we estimate the market at $800 million. With our partners, we can achieve $100,000 in revenue, help 10,000 SMEs access an affordable loan, and help create 1,000 jobs within the next 12 months. This is what our pilot platform looks like. Contributors can submit data through a simple file upload. Lenders can request data by uploading identifiers and choosing the data fields they want. This triggers an SMS on the vendor's phone with a link. They click on the link, log in, and answer the share request. The only person in this process who can access the data is the vendor, not even Gravity can. And that is thanks to a unique mix of decentralized storage and blockchain. We also use open digital ID standards and open API standards to make sure we can integrate with many other applications. Our technology allows us to remove the trade-off between 2 super important features. Permanent access of data and high storage on the one hand, and 100% user control and privacy on the other side. We are a team of 4. I'm a trained data scientist, a former product manager. I live in Nairobi and I actually buy my vegetables from the vendors we work with. My co-founder Paul is a former digital payments executive. In January this year, we signed a partnership on digital identity with PwC France and Africa. And after our pilot, we'll focus our scale deployment in Nigeria. During the field visit, we learned that the organizations in Turkey have a similar problems to our lenders in Kenya. They do not have enough information about the beneficiaries, but they need it in order to provide the right services. And data privacy is super crucial. So data is collected on a per project basis. For a skills program, UNDP collects educational backgrounds from around 5,000 Syrians. Now 2 months later, ILO wants to do a skill matching program. How can they access this information? With our solution, UNDP can submit their data on people's wallets, and ILO can ask the data directly from the people. These wallets can also store information from other organizations and also from other projects in this program, like typing or certified, for example. And the people are empowered for life with trusted data that they can share with other partners. This is human-centered data sharing. Together, we can empower people with data and serve them better. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Max, and I'm one of the partners of Certify. And Certify is a web application that helps its users to design, send, and store smart certificates. So I'm pretty sure that most of you have gotten to some courses and gotten some certificates after that. But these certificates simply just get lost in space. They become useless. These piles of certificates cannot be stored, and there is no way you can share them online where in a digital age. You cannot share them on LinkedIn or anywhere else, and you cannot verify it whenever you want to use them when you're applying to a job or something. So there's the other side for the institutions, that the data within these certificates is not visible, therefore they're not encouraging them to move on the career and educational pathways they're doing. And also these data is not traceable, analyzable, and therefore is not encouraging and describing the skill sets they're providing. And we are living in a world where we're talking about the future of jobs. And future of jobs are skill-based, and we should have been more focused on that problem. And we are focusing on that problem. So in Certifier, we started what we call the Smart Certificate Age. So certificate distributors can sign up to the site and then can select the design of their favorite, or if they have any institutional previous designs, they can upload them too. And we add QR codes and serial numbers to these certificates in order them to be verified later on. And then they can add the receiver's information about their institution and the course itself. And then the system automatically sends these certificates as emails to the attendees' email accounts. And afterwards, these certificates are stored in a decentralized blockchain system unanimously. And also we tag those certificates with the skills they provided to those attendees. And coming to our business model, there are two-sided business model. One is the SaaS model, which we practically sell smart certificate credits. And one smart certificate credit corresponds to one certificate distribution in the website. And there is also one open API library which can be integrated into already existing learning management systems. We have been founded in August 2018, and since then we have sold more than 33,000 certificate credits to 93 different paying customers, including colleges, K-12s, corporate firms, and NGOs. And in January 2019, we joined World Cup Accelerator program by Türkiye İş Bankası, and on March we had our first funding from Taiwan Venture Capitals. In August 2019, we plan to launch version 2 of Certifier with the mobile app Verify. So version 2 of the Certifier will have the open API library that I mentioned before, and also coming with the more improved user experience. And Verified app is going to enable users to upload previously existing educational documents, certificates, and diplomas into one digital educational ID, one educational passport. We plan to make sales in 7 countries, which we determined by geographical location and also market integration rates. And in January 21, we plan to make that number go up to more than 20. And by the end of the year, we plan to be the market leader in MENA and Europe region. Market size, there are 2 ways we can implement on. One is the printed certificates, which is a replaceable market. We can replace the old with the new. And this is the $7.8 billion in the world. And we expect it to grow to $8.1 billion. And the other market, which is serviceable for e-learning users, where they can receive their certificates in that way, which is now in a volume of 200 to 25 million people, which is going to be doubled in size to 445 people using. So in the so we have two direct competitors from the United States and one from Europe, and we come up advantages on being more affordable and easier to use, and we also have the mentioned integrable API and also the blockchain-based system. So this is the part where we come up most advantageous. We have a predetermined team that is consisting of people highly skilled and coming from the best high schools and the universities of Turkey. And we are determined to make education better for everyone, make meaningful jobs for everyone. So what do we need from this program in total? There are more than 400,000 people who are under education by different stakeholders, UNDP, Ministry of National Education and IŞKU, and the one umbrella of Turkish government. They are in a problem in which they're not directly recognizing each other, and they're giving the same courses over and over again, causing a waste of resources. So with the Certifier, we are going to give them a tool in which they can cooperate, use their resources in a more meaningful way. So we seek your cooperation in that. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Gerald Mako. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Cambridge Motorics. We are devoted to the production of equipment that can measurably train and screen fine motor skills. Now I'm pretty sure you're wondering what exactly a fine motor skill is. I mean, can you go and buy it in the market? Well, almost. My hands are very terrible. However, with the help of our lovely DJ, we can show you what you can do with your hands. So case in point, with your hands, if you make a living out of your hands, you have to be very good with them. I mean, if any one of you cooked ever, well, you know, it can be very hard. If you make a living, well, you must be very good in that. How we deliver this? We have specialized training equipment. One rig consists 9 peripheries. That means that we can train 9 people simultaneously, which equals, and this is a very conservative estimate, around 350 people a year, which means on 10 equipment, we can train 10 people. I know what you're thinking, okay, it's pretty much like buying a chicken that's going to lay 1 egg a day and I will be a chicken millionaire. Certainly not. The fact is that we can deliver training on average less than $150 a year. Current vocational training programs per year per student are roughly in the range of 10,000. We measure the impact. I'm going to talk about our traction a bit later on, but what we can do, we measured it for people with disabilities and without disabilities. Roughly, at maximum, we can train people within 6 months to be 2.5 times better in 4 main categories that you will need when you're working: speed, strength, accuracy, and rhythm. Now, we measure direct impact and indirect impact, and I want to focus on only one thing: the user, the training. Ownership over livelihood is an extremely important thing. However, breaking past gender barriers is even more important for one main reason. Women in great many societies, including Turkey and Syrian refugees, are facing very significant problems when they want to work due to the very fact that they happen to be women. If you provide hard data, you're not going to say that don't even bother to apply. You can prove employers that hire her, she's just as good or even better than him. We, however, due to capturing data, we want to provide a complex ecosystem to everyone who is involved in vocational training, delivering it. Institutional bodies, host countries, for the first time, can actually measure impact. Instead of, okay, we founded 6,000 vocational training programs, good, people get certificates, great, okay, but what's the impact? What's the hard data? Mentioning data, obviously, we have to be very careful with that, even though we are not capturing sensitive data. Case in point, we modeled it on the UK medical system. It is bulletproof and it can easily be linked. It was designed to be linked with digital ID. In case you're wondering that, okay, it's all good, but what's the market for this? It sounds like very niche. I mean, I'm skill training, really? Well, according to our friends at BCG, vocational education market is worth around $200 billion a year, not counting industry spending. That's roughly about 100 billion more. And once to Turkey, everyone knows these numbers. In Turkey, the working age of, refugees, protected people, about two-thirds of them are working age. However, only 15% of them are actually working. Now, most of you are wondering, okay, what's the data? What's the business model? Here, I'm not going to talk about numbers. What we want to do in the long run, in the next midterm, deliver our industrial contacts, basically subsidize our social programs from industry, sales in the vocational education sector, and also in the medical sector. We have a proven track record with more than 100,000 training sessions delivered, about 1,400 students in Germany, Hungary, India. We already signed a contract to deliver in Gaziantep in Turkey, a project that we will hope to do next year. And who is going to deliver this? Well, we are the team of 4 Gs because we have so many Geralds and Georges on our team. Coincidentally, we also happen to have 4 PhDs from Cambridge University in neuroscience, development studies, and the like. And thank you for your attention.
really helps. Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Nick and I'm here with Odo, and together we're here to talk to you about Zaka. We help companies find and onboard new, trusted and qualified customers. We do this through three services. One is a remote verification solution, the second is a digital ID wallet, and the third is integrated into that ID wallet a marketplace of personalized online services. At the moment we're working with DeepD, an AI retinal diagnostics firm. Rwanda has a large number of diabetics, and those, between 10 and 20% of those people are at risk of diabetic retinopathy, which can cause blindness. DeepD seek to plug the gap. Zaka will help them to remotely verify patients, to communicate their retinal scans to the AI engine in the Netherlands, and then to return the diagnosis to the patient from the clinic so they can pursue follow-up. We're hoping to reduce the incidence of blindness among diabetics in Rwanda. We also would look to work with companies like Zenka, which is a micro-lending platform. Zenka struggles to populate its scoring system with reliable data in a timely manner. Zaka can help them to remotely verify the customers, to provide a mature data profile in a timely manner that can populate their scoring program, and therefore help them to provide more loans at a lower risk profile. In short, we break down the digital trust barriers that exist between low and middle income consumers and the digital service providers which offer solutions to them. We do this on a system that is private by design, uses open APIs, and is built on the Hyperledger Indie community, which is open source standards. We adhere to W3C identifier standards, and we're doing our level best to comply by the ID 2020 framework. By helping companies acquire a new, trusted, and qualified customer base at a lower cost, we'll be seeking to charge pay-per-authentication basis of around $1 per authentication. We'll also be charging businesses a subscription package to access the Zaka marketplace, where they will be able to benefit from access to a new, trusted, and qualified customer base. We have an outbound pipeline of around 200 companies in Rwanda, which are digital service providers, and we're expecting a conversion rate of around 10% of those, having had several strong expressions of interest already. We'll be complementing that B2B sales with a community-based campaign model in the areas where the digital service providers we onboard to our platform seek to acquire users. And that will be complemented in turn by working with membership bodies in the local area, including savings and credit cooperatives and agricultural unions. So over the next 18 months, we'll be bringing on 18 service providers to the platform and 400,000 users. We'll be looking to tip $350,000 in revenue with $800,000 in contract value. We're already quite unique by offering self-sovereign identity, which is user-held and private by design in an emerging market context. What really stands us apart is the ability for that digital identity to power a personalized marketplace for online services. We've got a team with decades of experience in the public, social, and private sector. And in each new country that we operate, we create a product team which has deep domain expertise and the ability to execute on a demanding timeline, as well as a global team which can access the resources and networks necessary to support those teams from Europe and North America. So why are we in Turkey, and what do we think we can do with you here? We know that people under protection seek to access services just like the rest of us, but they often don't know how to access them, where to access them, or when to access them. Similarly, we know that there are many agencies operating in Turkey which seek to offer those services, but there is a lack of visibility about who the people are that they're trying to offer services to, and therefore how they can offer services in the right way, in a timely way, and in a way that is user and context specific. Through Zaka's digital ID wallet, we can offer a user-generated identity credential, which can be verified at the last mile through existing networks of trust. Off the back of that credential, we can offer a peer-to-peer messaging platform that enables an agency to distribute advice, announcements, and advertisements directly to particular user groups based on the qualities and characteristics of that group. So, for example, an agency could distribute a message to families with children under the age of 5 to notify them of a vaccination program taking place in the area near them. Or with people with engineering skills, who have self-populated engineering skills into their data profile, an employability and skills training program could be advertised to that user group so that they can access it in a timely manner. What we're hoping to do is create a higher awareness of services and a high utility behind the credentials that the people under protection have in their hands. Ultimately, the goal, therefore, is to drive the people under protection to the right services at the right time in a cost-efficient way. What we need is to create a consortium of identity partners who agree on a common schema, a minimum standard of data that's required for a personnel protection to be verified. We'll need funding for a pilot, and we'll need to engage in a continuous design process to ensure the product and the support service surrounding that product is user and context appropriate and retains a high retention and high uptake of the app. I'd be happy to talk through how exactly we think these can work based on this schema with anyone who would like to know more afterwards. But now, let me just reiterate the one reason that Zaka really exists, is to create trusted connections. Thank you.
To remind the founders, keep the mic a little closer, you'll be fine.
Close your eyes and think about your childhood for a second. You may remember parents, you may remember your friends, but when I close my eyes, I still remember war. This is not only my story, this is the story of 5 million people who reside here in Turkey today. We have lots of social cohesion programs here in Turkey, livelihoods, digital ID solutions, we are trying to do work here, but there is a big problem. We don't know their stories. We don't hear them, but we want to solve them. We don't know their skill set, we don't know their categorization, and we don't know their inventory to match them with livelihoods. What happens is that there is a disconnection between refugees' problems and livelihoods in Turkey, even there exist. Migport solved this problem anonymizedly and securely with big data analytics. What we do is that we have an online platform where refugees can ask questions to each other, talk to locals, and help each other. We give easy access to information from the first hand. This plays as a role as a digital bridge between livelihoods in Turkey and problems of refugees. Our application is ease of use, so they just ask a question. There are not many options there to confuse their minds. It's very easy, they can ask in any language they like, and they get answers from the other refugees facing these problems and Turkish locals who wants to help refugees. We use analytics and like small data analytics tools to understand their problems and match them with other refugees having the same problem, based on where they live, what language they speak, Ankara, Istanbul, and other features. So, thanks to 10+ awards that we received internationally and acknowledgements, we managed to get 10,000 people using our application and website, and we get their feedback that we ended up here. Also, we had more than 10+ clients, very prestigious ones, and we understood what kind of problems they have when they work with refugees. How we work with our clients was with analytics, entrepreneurship reports, and their skill set reports. We work with business to government and business to businesses to provide them reports to prepare better social cohesion programs based on what refugees need and what their problems are. Actually, this is not my first startup or my first enterprise, social enterprise. When I was 19 years old, my project was to have a system where refugees can get online appointment system for residence permit. And over 10 million people use this system, which is current SDGia website, Migration Management's website. But this time, I'm not alone. I have a great team. Yelda set a satellite to space and worked in TÜBİTAK, but she's here right now with us because she believes to social cohesion. Miraj has award-winning application. He's a back-end and forehand developer, IoT expert, but he is with us because he believes to social integration too. We have representatives from academicians, representatives from like civil society and public sector. So we get expertise and we try to understand refugees' problems with our team. What we aim is to reach 40,000 people by the end of this year with the help of 20 organizations. Some organizations that we are currently about to work are Turkish Red Crescent, GIZ, and hopefully IOM as well. By the next year, we want to reach 2,000 people and also generate revenue to make this sustainable and to provide reports for better prepared social cohesion programs. How we impact people's lives is refugees get direct assistance for their daily problems, which They usually spend like 15 days, sometimes 1 month to solve them. With our application, based on the previous migrants and refugees experience, they can solve it just in 1 hour. Then people can connect to the job opportunities. And our biggest impact is with policy reports, because our reports lead to policies and it can impact millions of lives, which we aim. And after SDG fields, we started talking with refugees about what kind of problems they have. And they stated about when they travel to another city, they have a city travel permit to get. Also, our Hassan, team member, is not here because he couldn't get city travel permit. We tried to solve it, but because that takes time, he couldn't be with us today. We already started talks with Turksat, which is the online government of Turkey, to provide refugees city travel permits from our application and E-Devlet. We also have the other pilots from the other SDG groups here, and we aim to work with them. What we try to do is that when locals and refugees come together, they can solve big problems. And we as MIGPORT, we are trying to find digital ways to support refugees, support migrants, support people like me. Thank you.
Great. So in order for you to catch a breath, get out, relax a little, stretch your senses. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Don't go farther away. 10 minutes only. Next teams could line up.